Welcome to our entrepreneurship slot. It's brought to you by the IDC, our partners in growth. And tonight we are going to look at a very special, unique type of business. The studios that have been established here in Joburg, they are called SkyRink Studios. We are pleased that there are individuals in our society who are taking the initiative to start their own businesses and grow our economy. And one such entrepreneur is Mr. Frank Mohapi, who joins us to discuss his latest venture. Dr. Mohapi,
thank you.
Pleasure to have you with us. Much appreciated. Your idea, your business concept is a fascinating one, right? It's a movie production, television show production, and you have started your own studios. Because normally we think that you should go to the SABC and the established broadcasters for that, but you saw a gap in the market. Explain to me how the whole business is going to work.
Okay, basically the facilities, the 6 studios that we have built, and each with its own control room, and we have 6 currently post-production facilities. How we look at the business basically is to say there's a lot of content needed in the country and internationally as well. And our facilities are mainly for TV production, that is for your sitcom, drama, advertising, etc. And it will be also great for filmmakers, also for post-production facilities. So how our model is basically based on, because in the country at the moment you have a situation of broadcasters commissioning work to independent producers. So independent producers then have to look for facilities. The idea actually came 3 years ago when a friend of mine, who's now a business partner, came to me and asking, should I first help him to find facilities? He was co-producing Itubalam for SABC. So during that process, we went to different studios in town, your Sasani, your Eben Bruce, Starks, etc. And they were all fully booked. And he had to shoot during December, and it was a bit costly for them because it's a period everyone has to go home. We are all here to work in Joburg. So I then said to him, no, come on, Chief, why don't we have our own facilities? And the idea came up, then we put together a business plan, drew another friend of ours, Miles came on board. The idea, we started with Marvin Matibe, and then that's how we started. And we came to look for facilities at Transnet. The idea of going to Transnet was basically to use the ballroom at the Carlton Hotel, which is not being used. And the property manager then also took us to the ice rink. And when we looked at the ice rink, we realized that this building can work as studio facilities. That's how we then put together the business plan. We came to the IDC. At first, when we engaged the architects and other people to look at what will be the cost. At first, we put it at about 56 million. And when we got to the IDC, we then met the first team, led by Mr. Dayengo. And it was a bit, could tell that the idea is there, but there were questions about it.
Let me interrupt you there so that we can take the story further, but I want to step back to how the concept was birthed, was created. It was born out of a challenge, right? Yeah. And a need that had to be met. Yes. And what you were looking for, you couldn't find. And this was definitely a challenge because now production had to be done over December and costs escalated, and it's possible even a contract could be cancelled if you could not deliver on time. And that got you thinking. It's not like something that was always there as an ambition.
It wasn't always there.
Yeah.
But it came that day. A couple of days later, that's how I then said to them, guys, let's build our own facilities. And in that process, when we build the business plan, we actually look at other facilities and what are the challenges facing other producers. You look at the issues, for example, the space, the sizes of the studios, the distance between the studio and the control room, unavailability of post-production in most of the facilities. We also look at minor issues like parking. Parking can be an issue in your production. And the distance also of production offices and the studio itself can also be a challenge to a producer.
So,
yeah.
yeah. Well, the question I want to ask is, I can imagine from IDC's point of view, it was a relatively unusual business proposal for them. I suppose that's what they might have battled with.
It was, and I remember even the next meeting we then had to meet with Basil Ford, and you could tell he tried to poke every hole, and he actually realized that the three gentlemen sitting in front of him, they know the industry, they know what they want, and they can actually make this business work. And at the same time, we're already engaging other producers that we know that are often commissioned by SABC and other broadcasters to say, in the event that these facilities are there, will they rent facilities from that? And they issue letters of intent.
So,
and the number of letters of intent
yes,
showed to the IDC that there is a need for those facilities.
So in a way, then you had to prove that there's a market for it.
There's a market for it.
Yeah, and generate that market,
yes,
which you did.
Yeah.
Because I like the idea because it's unique, it's unusual, and there's not much competition. I don't think there was anybody coming up with a counter proposal to say, look, we can do a better job than this. But what do you think your partnership with your other colleagues possesses that made this whole concept saleable to the IDC?
Okay, I'll make an example. My background also, I've done documentary. I worked in communications, and I had an understanding of the studio facilities. My other business partner, Marvin Matibe, used to work for SABC till he formed his own production company. He used to be an acting head of drama at SABC. Miles has been in IT space and finance. So the three of us sitting together, we actually look at the whole business models. And we also I had my company called Yellow Wax, and Marvin had BBDM, which has been producing drama and sitcoms. So together we understood exactly what are the challenges. And in terms of when we go to the equipment, we also understood that for us to go into this, we have to go big. And in going big, what is not studios is not only empty shell that is there with acoustic walls, what needs to go in there. Because in our facilities, for example, you'll have 3 cameras. The third camera is an extra cost. In our central apparatus room, you have live streaming, we have channel hosting, we have scheduling, and at the moment we have also added another aspect of virtual sets so that those who don't need to build sets can use visual sets. So those are the other added values that we have in our studios. And we can host even all provincial TV channels and new coming TV channels, we can host them. So that's basically what we look to at. Let's have a one-stop shop.
Tell me about the journey so far from the time you identified the place, and I find it interesting that you actually kept the name SkyRink.
Yes, keeping the name of the SkyRink, we're calling our company the SkyRink Studios. It was also one we should remember the ice rink at the Carlton was the first in Johannesburg, if not the country and the continent, given that the fact that the building is 40 years old. And we said, when we thought of a name, we didn't even think twice. We say, let's call it the SkyRink Studios to maintain that name as well, and the memory that the ice rink holds for too many people who have been using it. So that's how we did that. And yes, it was not even easy for Transnet to lease that property to us for so many years, as they had to go and ask for other proposals as to what other people would like to use that facilities for. And one of our proposal was the best, and they see value into it, and it also brings life back to the city. It adds to the rejuvenation of the city. We looked at all aspects of that, and to say why this location, the location is great in that, one, for all producers who will be utilizing them, you don't have to bus extras. They are roaming around outside. They are there immediately. There are a number of restaurants. And the other thing is there's a lot of parking in the building. So those who will be using our facilities have an access to that. There is, where it used to be the gym, it's now 2,600 square meters of production offices.
Yeah, and of course the city itself is being revived. So
Yes.
too many advantages, I think, that
Yes.
one can see from there. What do you think, as the executive chairman of SkyRink Studios and venturing into this new business for yourselves as a collective, are the key lessons you've learned through this journey that you'd like to share with our viewers and aspirant entrepreneurs? What have you learned?
One, it was not an easy journey. And two, your dedication. Firstly, research and understanding what is it that you want to do. Understand the challenge of that industry you are in, and look for opportunity within your industry that you want to get in. Firstly. Two, look at the team that you assemble. That is key too. Again, patience, dedication, and being principled to your own idea is key.
You're starting when? January
January
2017?
We are open to business.
All right, and you can give yourself a plug of 20 seconds or so. Where do people go if they want to use your facilities?
You can go to www.skyrinkstudios.co.za and you'll get all the information you want and our contact details there. Yes.
Good luck to you, and I'm sure we're going to hear more
You'll hear
about
more,
you and award-winning productions coming out of
They will be coming.
SkyRink Studios.
Yes, there will be lots of telenovelas.
Yes.
And in closing, recently we just came from Kenya, and part of the discussions that we are looking to the continent is to have collaborations in terms of production and begin not to only think local in terms of productions.
Frank Mohapi, much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Bratin.
All right. So, well, it takes guts, creative thinking, commitment, dedication, burning passion to make sure that whatever you are imagining and wish to start as a business, that you go for it and you hang in there, because it can be a very long and lonely journey, as evidenced by what we've just heard here from Frank Mohapi. And we wish you the same if you are in business or you are an aspirant business person. Remember, the IDC are there to support you if you are moving into such areas where jobs will be created and the economy will be grown.